walk into a casino, heart racing, chips in hand, lights flashing all around. You know the odds are stacked against you, but that's part of the thrill. The house always wins, right? But what happens when the house cheats? It sounds like something out of a movie. Rigged roulette wheels, marked cards, software in online poker rooms manipulating results. But this isn't fiction. It happens. And when it does, the legal system has something to say about it. Most gamblers don't realize that in some cases, the casino isn't just playing to win. They're breaking the law. So today on Due Process Daily, we're pulling back the velvet curtain on one of the most taboo topics in gambling. What rights do you have when the casino is the one doing the cheating? First, let's get something straight. Gambling itself is a heavily regulated industry, and with good reason. Whether you're at a slot machine in Vegas or playing blackjack at an online site, there's an entire web of laws, gaming commissions, and oversight agencies working behind the scenes. In the US, each state has its own gambling laws, but casinos, especially licensed ones, have strict standards to follow. But just because the law says a casino shouldn't cheat doesn't mean it won't. And that's where it gets tricky. Let's look at a real-world example. In 2013, the Golden Nugget Casino in Atlantic City had a major problem. Due to a manufacturing error, a batch of mini baccarat cards came out of the box unshuffled. A group of players noticed and exploited it, winning $1.5 million. The casino accused them of cheating. The players argued they just saw the pattern, and the court actually sided with them. But what's fascinating is the reverse situation. What if the casino had noticed a problem and used it against the players? That brings us to one of the key protections gamblers have, the concept of implied fairness. When you walk into a casino or log into a gaming site, there's an unspoken agreement that the games are fair. That doesn't mean you'll win. It means the game isn't being manipulated. If it is, you may have grounds for a lawsuit. And yes, there have been lawsuits. In 2018, players filed a class action against PokerStars, alleging the company used poker-playing bots that had an unfair advantage. In some online casinos, players have accused software of altering the odds in real time, especially when players start winning. While it's hard to prove, these cases sometimes succeed, especially when the cheating involves breach of contract, fraud, or deceptive trade practices. Let's say a casino rigs a blackjack game so the shuffle is predictable, or they use faulty slot machines that display false near misses to keep you playing. In these cases, players may be able to bring claims for fee, fraud in a breach of contract, unfair or deceptive business practices, civil RICO, yes, racketeering. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Proving the house is cheating isn't easy. Casinos have armies of lawyers. Surveillance footage is tightly controlled. Internal software is considered proprietary, and most casinos include arbitration clauses in their terms and conditions, which can make lawsuits harder to bring. They also require you to waive your right to class actions. Sound familiar? That's the same tactic used by shady employers and cell phone companies. And even when players do win in court, damages can be limited. Judges and juries may be unsympathetic to gamblers, viewing them as willingly taking a risk, but the law is clear. The risk you agree to is losing fairly. You never agreed to be hustled by the house. So what rights do gamblers have? Well, it depends on whether you're gambling in person or online. Let's break it down. In-person casinos are regulated by state gaming commissions. If you suspect cheating, you can file a complaint with the Gaming Control Board. These agencies can conduct investigations, pull surveillance, and even revoke licenses. You may also be able to file a civil lawsuit, especially if the casino refuses to return your money, or you can prove systematic fraud. Online gambling, however, is the Wild West. Many players use offshore sites that are barely regulated, if at all. If you're gambling on a site based in Curacao or Malta, good luck bringing a lawsuit in the US. That's why it's crucial to use only licensed US regulated platforms where state or federal agencies can intervene. Now, here's something a lot of people miss. Even if you can't prove outright cheating, you can still win a case based on misrepresentation. If a casino advertises a slot machine as paying out 97%, but in reality only pays 80%, that's false advertising. That's a claim you can bring, and regulators take that seriously. There's also the issue of data privacy. Many casinos collect biometric data, Think facial recognition or behavioral analytics. If they use that data to track high-risk players and manipulate gameplay, say to tempt someone with a known gambling addiction, that can rise to the level of predatory behavior, and that opens the door to even more legal scrutiny. Let's talk about self-exclusion lists. These are programs that allow problem gamblers to ban themselves from casinos. Sounds helpful, right? But if a casino allows someone on that list to gamble anyway, and then takes their money, they could be liable. There have been lawsuits over this exact issue, and courts have increasingly recognized the duty of casinos to enforce their own safeguards. So what should you do if you think the house is cheating? First, document everything. Screenshots, videos, receipts, every piece of evidence helps. Second, file a complaint with the Gaming Commission or Attorney General's office in your state. Third, consider talking to a consumer protection or gaming law attorney. These cases are specialized, but there are lawyers out there who focus on fraud and gambling. And finally, tell your story. Media attention can pressure regulators to act. In an age of online reviews and viral TikToks, public shame is often more powerful than legal action. We tend to romanticize casinos as glamorous, but at the end of the day, they're businesses. Their job is to take your money legally. But if they cross the line into cheating, manipulation, or deception, they're not just breaking trust, they're breaking the law, and that's where due process kicks in. So the next time you hit the tables or log into that poker site, remember this: the house may always win, but only if it plays fair. And if it doesn't, you have rights. Thanks for watching Due Process Daily. If you've ever had a bad experience in a casino or suspect the game was rigged, drop it in the comments. We want to hear your story. And if you learned something today, hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about your rights, the law, and the systems that govern our everyday lives.